Iain Henderson, what is it like to be back in with the Ireland squad?
Yeah, it's great. It's good to see all the old familiar faces in, and it's good to get everyone back together and start to build that buzz going into what's going to be exciting first couple of weeks for us.
Yeah, you've Wales away in the first game, so I suppose a tough test in that one.
Yeah, definitely. Look, any team away from home in the Six Nations is always tough. Never mind Wales. Obviously, they had bit of tough times over the last season or so, but that's not the Wales we'll be expecting to see. They'll be going into Six Nations with their backs up and looking to make a few disturbances. So we've got to make sure that we're prepared for that.
Yeah, it's exciting times for Ulster as well. 5 players are in, and obviously through to the knockout stages of the Heineken's Champions Cup. So it was tough for a while there, looking to get that win, but things have turned around, and it was really good performance as well at the weekend.
Yeah, look, obviously there's a few real tough results we had to take there over the last number of weeks. A few games that were kind of lost in the dying minutes of the second half, and that's something that we kind of looked at and we needed to try and turn around, and it's something unfortunately I wasn't involved, but the guys did a great job of working through last week to get the win over Sale and then qualify, and like, it's exciting times, and we've got a big game this weekend against Stormers, and that's something the guys will be fully focused on to continue putting the performances out there.
Yeah, I was speaking to Dan McFarland after the game, and I just spoke about, I suppose, trying to get over that last few minutes, trying to get that win, how tough that can be mentally on a team when you're constantly getting losses, but you're just nearly there. There is good positives around the place, but just not getting that win, and how demoralising that can be for a team. But to not let that feed in, how as captain, is that something you, I suppose, make sure doesn't feed into the team?
Yeah, we've got quite a young squad at times, and a lot of the young guys maybe haven't experienced that tough period like we've had there. But I think they've done an excellent job of making sure that throughout the week we're trying to take as many learnings as possible. We're trying to stay as positive as possible. We're looking at trying to improve week on week, and the reassurance from some of the slightly older heads to the young guys that you don't turn into a bad rugby player or by any means a bad rugby team overnight, and we have a good foundation built with Dan over the last number of seasons that we know that if we go back to our basics and make sure those simple things are done well, because those are the things that essentially were letting us down in the last couple of minutes of games, and that's something I think the guys have been working really hard at, and hopefully we'll see some fruit over the next few weeks.
Absolutely, and you were just speaking about your concussion that you had, but you're all good now, you're all cleared. You have had, I suppose, a few frustrating injuries over a number of years really. How has that been for you? Because I'm sure it can't have been easy, especially I suppose last year coming home from New Zealand.
Yeah, look, it's difficult. I've had, as you said, I've had a good few in my career, injuries that have come at probably frustrating times. It's one of those things that I suppose I've been doing this 10 years now, and I know that they happen. The initial disappointment doesn't get any easier. It doesn't get any easier after you find out you're going to be out for a while. But to be able to try and turn yourself around and use that time away, either in doing a bit of work off the field, in terms of analysis, or trying to use it in terms of getting better at other things. I've learned to try as best possible to put a positive spin on things. It doesn't always happen that way, but it gives you something to distract yourself, and before you know it, you're into working at something else and targeting something else, which is always helpful as a distraction.
And how was it to watch Ireland, I suppose, have that historic Test series win? At that point, you travelled home, so you would have been at home watching.
Yeah, look, it was similar to what I just said there. The short period after getting injured and realising what the opportunities that I was going to miss was devastating. But when I got home, I had the kids around me. It was probably the first time in my career that I was able to sit and watch Ireland games almost as a fan, knowing that I'm not going to be involved. I'm not trying to get back immediately for training. I'm not rushing back for something else. And we were up at 8 or so in the morning with the kids in their pajamas watching Ireland and watching the haka on TV, and that was really enjoyable to watch. It was an experience I think I'll always remember. So being able to watch the guys from home, obviously bittersweet because I'd love to have been there, but it was class watching them do the job they did out there.
Yeah, that must have been so strange to be sitting there, but also at the same time, no pressure, just being able to enjoy.
Yeah, and that was it. It was being able, like I said, it felt like being a fan again, being able to sit there and enjoy it, and it was kind of, it was nice to know the work the guys had put in, and you could see them getting their awards starting the pitch. Obviously, the start of the tour went a bit ropey. but like I could see that the guys were still trying to do the same thing. They stuck to their plan. They stuck to what they knew they could do well, and it worked out for them.
Yeah, that's such a good way of looking at things, because I'm sure with injuries and in professional sport, there's a lot of low days. But to look at it that way and to have a positive spin, on it, that's so important, I'd say, for players.
Yeah, like I think, like I said, the whole run of an injury isn't like that. You kind of like try and pick yourself up and turn it around. You're devastated, you're upset, you're emotional towards the start of it, and then after that, you can definitely look at the positives, and once you kind of get the sort of the blurry bit out of the way at the start, and then you really get focused on doing something, and get to the realistic side of it. But it can be emotional, but the positivity spin is massive, and that's something I would always try and say to the younger players, like try and do something here, be it away from rugby or be it within rugby, or betting yourself, kind of trying to get something out of it.
And looking to Ireland this year then, Six Nations, and then you're looking to the World Cup as well in October time, so really exciting times.
Yeah, like obviously you'll hear this from every player and every country. We've got to focus on the here and now, and what we can focus on now is this Welsh game. Obviously the tournament's going to be an amazing tournament. The teams that are coming into it, be it the couple of teams with new coaches, or be it ourselves who had a good run, or France who are hosting the World, like it's exciting everywhere. Obviously Scotland under a bit of pressure too. Like it's an exciting tournament to be, and I think this tournament will throw up some results that might surprise a few people. So I think that's incredibly exciting, and it's always exciting to see how that's going to build going into the summer series and then the World Cup.
And how exciting of a group of players is this? You've been here a long time, 2012 I think you made your debut, so you've been around a lot of Ireland squads. This one in particular, where does it rate in the squads you've been in?
Every squad I've been in has been great for different reasons. I feel like this squad has like a real desire to learn and get better, and a closeness that it feels like a group of friends, almost feels as close as you could maybe get to playing like schools rugby or something, almost, that you're there and you're in it together, because there is a huge, albeit as you said, I've been kicking around for about 10 years, I like a youthful aspect to the squad, and that's like kind of brings a few of us older guys down to kind of feeling a bit younger again, and that's exciting to be a part of, and you feel that enthusiasm. Like today almost feels like the first day of school coming in, and everyone like getting their new kit, and it feels almost like it's kind of a good buzz about the place, and that's exciting, and like coming down, it is exciting to be a part of a squad like that, and look, I think the coaches and management have created a great environment for us to be able to feel like that and grow that amongst ourselves.
Yeah, it's something that everybody says that I speak to. It's the environment that's what everybody enjoys most. Looking at the World Cup then, I suppose you've been there 2015, 2019, so you have a lot of experience in going to a World Cup. I'm sure there is positives and learnings you can take from it that you can bring into this year's.
Yeah, there's lots of stuff in terms of the prep going into it. At the start of pre-season for World Cup, you think, flip, this World Cup is months away. And it goes like that. It goes in like a blink of an eye. Before you know it, you're in the games, and then after that, you're straight into the World Cup and down to what matters. And I think one thing that we've underestimated at previous World Cups, the ones I've been involved in and the ones prior to that, is every game is a game that can be won by anyone. And we've seen that. We've seen Japan turn teams like ourselves, like South Africa, over. We've seen other and was it earlier on in the 2011 and 2007 World Cup, Ireland maybe running into difficulties against some of the smaller sides. Like all those teams are coming to the World Cup looking for a big upset, and that's something we have to be and are aware of, that we have to be on top of our game for however many matches we have to play.
And for you, 68 caps now, you're hoping to get as many more as you possibly can?
Yeah, like we've spoken about with my injury record, like I'm delighted, and every cap I get is kind of as exciting as the last, and that's something that I just I try not to look at too much, because I just want to enjoy, as I said, what's in the here and now, and continue building relationships with this team.
And just on the squad, there was a few talking points, I suppose, around it, that Joey Carberry wasn't included. It's fairly tough, I suppose, on players like that who have always been around the squad that are not picked this time around, but it could be the best thing that could happen to them.
Yeah, like 100%. Like there are players who come in and out of squads, in and out of teams, and sometimes it takes that for him to get another opportunity later on in the tournament and come in and really show and take the bull by the horns and show, like, this is why you should pick me. There will be loads of opportunities for players to be called into this squad between now and the middle end of March. So those players who come in will know that they have an opportunity there to show, be it in training or be it in a game or coming off the bench, that they have an opportunity, and that'll be exciting. Joey's still young. He will get another opportunity, and when he does, I have no doubt in my mind he'll light it up.
I was speaking to Jacob Stockdale after the Ulster game at the weekend, and he said about Andy Farrell keeping the faith in him, that he hadn't been putting in the best performances, so he was really thankful for that.
Yeah, look, I know Jacob's been, like us at Ulster, we've been struggling to find a bit of form of recent, and like I said earlier on in the interview, you don't become a bad player overnight. You don't just all of a sudden lose everything you're capable of doing, and that's something I know Jacob's been working really hard off the pitch, not only just in rugby stuff, but everything else, trying to ensure that he's doing every single wee bit he can to get back to him playing at 100% of his best, and like what he's been doing off the pitch has been amazing to see, the time and effort he's been putting into things. And maybe this freshen up of an environment, a new stimulus, another challenge could be the thing to reignite him, to kind of let us see that like electric Jacob back.